says it's busy. Why is it busy? Okay. So Franny, tell me your full name.
My name is Frances Seltzer. And when I married my husband, Cecil, his name was Cooper, Cooper.
So where did your family, the Seltzers, where did they come from? Like, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Philly, where I met my husband, in Philadelphia.
And how old were you when you met your husband?
Cecil, I met him when I was 16, and he had skipped 2 years, so he was a few months older than me. But he was in a different grade, of course, because he had skipped 2 times.
So he was really smart?
Well, I guess that's why he skipped.
How did you meet him? Where were you?
Through a mutual friend.
And can you remember that day? Tell me about that day.
I was introduced to him, and he called me.
Where did you go on your first date with Cecil?
I can't remember. Oh, we probably walked to a movie, a double feature.
And do you remember what it was like to date him?
We walked. We walked to the Parkway, to the main library downtown. We walked to the museums. We walked. We didn't have a car.
But what was your life like before Cecil? What was your life like before you met Cecil?
My life was going to school.
What were you in school for?
High school.
High school. So what kind of things were you interested in?
Well, I didn't have much choice. I took the commercial course, and my jobs were always in an office.
Did you like working?
Yes, I enjoyed meeting people.
What was your role at the office?
I did stenography and bookkeeping.
And was this, so how old were you when you got your first job?
Well, I guess I was 18. I had graduated high school and looked for work.
Did you
and got work. My first job was with a pretzel company, and when that burned down, I lost my job. And then I worked at the Regal Shirt Company. And at that time, my sister, Betty, was working for the Naval Department, Bureau of Supplies and Accounts. So I applied for a job there, and I took a test, a typing test, and I passed it, apparently, so I got a job.
And was that job fulfilling to you? Like, do you remember liking working, or?
I met a lot of people there. Yeah. And did my work.
Would you say that you're a hard worker?
Yeah.
What's been some of the hardest work you've done in your life?
Well, if I was off a penny, I had to go through the books again. Yeah.
So were you excited about, did you keep working once you married Cecil?
I worked at the Bureau of Supplies and Accounts. Yeah, I looked after books.
Can you tell me about your wedding day?
My wedding day, well, we didn't have a car, so we took a trolley, and we got there late, and the rabbi apparently said he had to go to marry other people. So we left him go, and my uncle Hyman either knew about someone or inquired about someone, and we were married legally.
How old were you and what was your wedding day?
I was about 19 and a half, and my husband was about 20 and a half.
So wait, say the whole thing.
He had a 6-month deferment, and we got married. And we rented an apartment for 6 months at, I think it was 36 and Chestnut, near the U of V.
So you lived in what city with him?
Philly.
Philly. And so for 6 months you lived there before he had to go to war? What was it like when he was gone?
Well, he went to Fort Sill first. And then the war really got started, and he was supposed to go to officers training school, and instead they sent him to Italy, and he used the guns of the war in Italy, Mark Clark's Fifth Army, and then, thank goodness, the war was over, and he was sent home. He had a Purple Heart. I don't know what for, but he got home.
But what were you doing while he was gone? Like, what was your life like when you were waiting for him?
I was working at the Bureau of Supplies and Accounts in Philadelphia.
So then when did you decide to start a family?
Well, my husband went to school, to GW, for 3 years. He finished a 4-year course in 3 years, and then he decided he wanted to get a doctorate in biochemistry, and he did succeed. So at the University of Pennsylvania, he got his doctor's degree in biochemistry, and at that time I had Barbara, and 2 years later I had Judith, and then we moved to for a postdoctoral. We moved to Baltimore, where he went to get a postdoc degree in biochemistry under Leninger, who wrote a very famous biochemistry book. So we lived in Baltimore for 2 years, and then he got his first and only job because he loved his boss so much that he never wanted to be the head of a department elsewhere. We believed the grass isn't always greener because we had friends who, after a few years, they came back.
They went to a different place to work? And
No, they went to our schools to work, but they worked elsewhere for 2, 3, 4 years.
What do you mean by the grass isn't always greener?
You know, you've applied for jobs. They're, and I'm sure you've had regrets with some of them, or some of the moves you made.
That's very true.
Yeah, so the grass isn't always greener. You think it is, but it may be for a short time, and then you realize what you left behind.
What do you think, like looking back at your life, was the most meaningful thing that you did?
Well, meeting my husband.
What is it that kept you, first of all, how long were you together, and then what is it that kept you together so long?
72 years, give and take.
What was your relationship like?
Very good. We traveled a lot, walked a lot, went up and down the Grand Canyon 3 times. Saw different countries abroad.
What are some of the places that you lived abroad?
England, southern Germany,